Hello, it's Roger Bisbee here from Skill Builder, and I'm just about to start fitting this wall hung loo here, and I was just about to put my knee pads into my trousers, and it made me think that it's probably time that I covered the subject of knees and knee protection. Now I know a lot of you are going to turn off at this point, so goodbye, but those who are staying, I was talking to a plumber the other day, a mate of mine, met him in the merchant's queue. He's about the same age as me, so I thought maybe he'd got another 3 or 4 years in the game before he retired, but he was saying to me no, he was giving up, and the reason he was giving up is because his knees just wouldn't take it anymore. He couldn't even manage to walk upstairs, and the reason is he spent his life kneeling on his knees and he's knackered them. When we started, he and I, there weren't any such thing as work trousers. You certainly didn't get knee pads. You just used to have to wear the strap-on knee pads that coal miners wore, all that kind of thing. Now they're fine, but they don't always fall in the right position. And obviously when work trousers came along with pockets in them, like these ones from Snickers, then it became a lot easier just to slip a knee pad into the pocket and give yourself protection. Now you can see that we've got a bit of support from Snickers workwear, and I do actually believe that they've got the best knee system out there. I'm not just saying that because they support us. If you have a look at the range of knee pads that Snickers have, you will see that they do more than anybody else. And the reason for that is it's not all just about show. If you look at this one, for example, the Floor Layers knee pad, it actually nestles the knee nicely in there and it keeps it positioned perfectly for you. It's a nice curved, segmented knee pad. And these ones have got a material in called D30. Now D30 is a kind of a wonder material. It was discovered by mistake by a chemist. And what it is kind of like plasticine. When it is in its most relaxed form, it is just gooey. You can see that it just stretches and falls. But the more impact it gets, the more shock absorbent it becomes. Now it's used in superbike racers outfits, you know, their protection. It's used in riot shields, all sorts of gear, you know, shoulder pads, that kind of thing. Anything that needs a bit of extra protection has or benefits from having D30 in it. Not everything has got D30 in it, obviously, but the Snickers knee pads with that D30 encapsulated into the foam give it that extra shock absorbency. Now, the reason that's important is because when you buy a pair of knee pads and you chuck them in your trousers, and you might even put them through the washing machine a few times like I do, and they lose their effectiveness. So you've got these knee pads in there and you're dropping down on your knees as if you're indestructible, but in actual fact, bit by bit, they're wearing out and they're not so good. So having a material like D30 in there gives them that extra shock absorbency, and because it reconstitutes itself, it's a very flexible material. It bends and it can be shaped to whatever the garment is. But as it's given impact, it becomes really shock absorbent. So one of these pads is impregnated with D30 to absorb the shock, and the other one isn't. And you can see straight away which pad has got the D30 in it. I'll drop this ball bearing onto it. And you see what happens there? It bounces. So that's the shock absorbency of that pad. Not too bad, you might think, but have a look at this. That's got D30 in it. It absorbs the shock straight away, and you can see that the pad reforms instantly, or almost instantly, after the shock. Now, the more you drop on it, the more shock absorbent it becomes. So that's a very simple demonstration to show you the difference between a knee pad with D30 in it and a knee pad without. As I say, Snickers have got a bigger range than anybody else, which is why I'm talking about them, but whatever knee pad you're using has got to do some good, but the important thing is use it. Put them in at the beginning of a day and keep them there. They're comfortable enough. The great thing about the Snickers ones is they're adjustable. They fall just where you need them, whereas with some of the other trousers, because you don't have that adjustment on them and the leg isn't cut the way this is cut on the twist, so that as you go to kneel down, the knee pad moves to be in exactly the right position, and that's very important because I've seen some guys who are on their knee pads and their knee pads are down here and their knees are up there, which is no good at all. So look after your knees will look after you, and you won't be like my old mate who's looking to find another job because he's a good tradesman, but he can't use that trade anymore because his knees have had it. So the important thing is, if you see any youngsters out there who are kneeling down, just beginning their trade, and they're not using knee pads, have a little word with them and see if you can persuade them to start looking after their knees. I'm Roger Bisbee, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Don't forget to come back because I might even get this loo fixed.